Greetings, Internet. Welcome to the Play Some Video Games podcast. I am one of your hosts, the man, the myth, the legend, Delvin Cox, and I'm back, bitches.
Welcome back.
With me today is my boy, my brother, the Fiend, Donnie Reese. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man? Welcome back. Yeah. Glad to see your face again, hear your voice again.
Yeah, we're back in business. We're one man down, but soon we'll be full again like Voltron. Like that episode of Voltron where all the lions got scattered all across the universe. Voltron. You know, okay. Power Rangers. Sorry.
Okay.
The episode where all the Power Rangers were scattered across the world. They had to get back together and form and kick ass again. That's what we are right now.
All right.
We're missing the Black Ranger. Oh man, how's your week been, Donnie?
Sucks. Yeah, I mean, I got nothing, man. I've got nothing for you in that department. My week has sucked. It's been misery defined. I'm not coming to the microphone in the best of spirits. It's one of those weeks, man. I've had multiple days where it feels like the laws of the universe are against me. Everything is a struggle.
That was my last 2 weeks.
Basic communication is a struggle. Basic tasks are a struggle. So, yeah. Yeah,
that was my last 2 weeks. That's one of the main reasons I wasn't here, because shit got really bad. And if I would have been here, it would have just made everybody absolutely depressed because it got bad. But things are better now. And it was really bad. Like it was upsettingly bad. But I think things have turned around now. We're starting to, I guess you can't really see the light on the other side of the tunnel with this situation like this, but it's starting to turn around in a way where it's like, you know what? Everything's going to be all right.
Nice. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
good. I got some gaming in.
Okay.
Which is surprising. I played a game that you told me to play, Planet Alana.
Ooh, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I love that game.
I loved it. It was what I kind of was missing from what's the game we played earlier this year that I was like kind of mid on? Shoot, I can't even remember the name of it right now. I just went
the Netflix game?
The sequel. No, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oxenfree
2. Yeah. 2. It took me a minute because I thought you were talking about there was another game. We had another game on Game Pass. Was it last year?
You're talking about the other one I didn't play that's like Planet Alana. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah. I forget what it was called, but yeah, people didn't like it as much. And I played it and it was a little buggy, but like I liked it. Like I thought it was good, but it's not like Planet Alana good. I thought you were talking about anyway. This is a terrible. I thought that's what you were talking about, but you were talking about Oxenfree 2. Gotcha.
Oxenfree 2, yeah. I kind of feel like Planet Alana was what I was missing. It was the itch I was kind of missing for. The story is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a simplistic. I don't want to say too much about it. I can say what I want to say. It's a simplistic alien story that you kind of play through. You have to save a loved one, and you're going through the whole world, and you're kind of like. It's very bright, colorful, vibrant. I dig the story because it's a story that doesn't have many words in it, but you get everything that's going on. Thank you, Somerville.
Yeah, that was
played like
one.
5 minutes of it, and I'm like, didn't like it.
I was stoked for Somerville, but it was just a little buggy. It was a little lax in polish, which I don't think is what you want when you're making a game like that. That kind of breaks the immersion and breaks
exactly.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues like that with Planet Alana.
Me neither.
Planet Alana is a beautiful game. It's just gorgeous, like really art style, but the music is fantastic, and I thought the story was touching. For a little like walking sim. It's like Limbo. It's like that. It reminds me of Journey. I think like the story, the journey that you go on is felt very reminiscent of Journey. There's like a lot of parallels there. Not the same kind of gameplay, but similar kind of plot, I guess.
Definitely some parallels there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
in terms of the story and stuff like that, and building this relationship with a character and seeing that relationship to the end and kind of developing. It's just a great emotional story. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
I'm glad to hear that because I don't think many people gave it a try. Launch day into Game Pass, and I don't think anybody really cared. I didn't hear about anybody playing it. Even like the Xbox outlets didn't really cover it, which I felt was, and I guess I shouldn't have been surprised because I think the same treatment got paid to like the Gunk. A lot of people didn't play or give that a try either.
I agree.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just Image Inform. Maybe they don't have as much.
I've heard.
I get Image Inform.
Thunderful.
It was
you. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're the only person I heard talk about the game. You're the only person I heard talk about the game.
Oh.
Well, the only person, like literally.
Well, I like Thunderful games. Like I'll just say that. Like I'm interested in whatever the developer's doing, or even publisher. Like if their name is attached to something, I'm interested. But in particular with Planet of Lana, I mean, it caught me early on. I like those sorts of games. I think you do too. I think we both do. Yeah. Yes. I think these are more our type of jam. We're like, I love SteamWorld Dig. SteamWorld Dig 1 and 2 are incredible. But like SteamWorld Heist, not my type of game. Right. So I didn't enjoy that one as much. What was the other one they did? After Party? I didn't like that one as much either.
After Party. I didn't get to play that one yet. It's on my list.
I didn't like that one as much either. What was the first one they did before After Party?
I have to look this up.
Yeah, look that up. What was the other one? Because that one was really good.
I think
I was going to say Stick It to the Man, but that's not it.
That is one of the games. Let me see.
What the hell is that damn game called? Is Yarden got us there? I wish I would prep for these sorts of things instead of just sitting on the podcast trying to remember the name of a game I played 4 or 5 years ago.
Prep? Nah. What do we need that for? Let's see.
It might not even be Thunderful.
The one After Party was Night School Studio.
Yeah, what's the first one though?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look it up right now. Oxenfree, Mr. Robot, After Party, Next Stop Nowhere.
I shouldn't
After
be able to do
Party
this.
2. Yeah.
Maybe it was just okay. Maybe it was just After Party then. I didn't like that one as much.
Oxenfree was their first game.
Oxenfree, okay. So I didn't like that one as much. But all these games, Oxenfree, After Party, Midsummer, Planet of Lana, like all these things they're kind of the same. They're kind of similar.
Yeah,
and I typically do enjoy these sorts of games myself as well. So
story-based games with light elements of puzzle, figuring out stuff,
puzzle platforming.
Kind of
yeah,
walk through the world. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It's really cool. I like when studios get it right, and they seem to got it right with Planet of Lana. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
I recommend it.
I think if I had to guess, I think it's probably my favorite indie game of the year at the moment.
I think I concur.
So
I like it more than I like Oxenfree 2 by a lot.
Yeah.
Like this blows Oxenfree out the water.
Night in the Woods is another one like that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think the people that have listened to me talk about games, for however long we've been doing this, I think this is definitely kind of a genre that people would like kind of put in my wheelhouse. The Artful Escape is another one.
I started that one. I like it a lot. I haven't finished it through it yet, though.
I mean, I finished it. I thought it was good. I didn't love it or anything, but it was really good. It was really beautiful. It came out right when my cat Kirby passed. That's the thing I remember about that the most. But yeah, like these sorts of games are kind of my jam. And Planet of Lana, for me, is like it exceeded the bunch. Like for me, one of the reason I say Journey is I think like at the end of Journey, like I was just kind of like, this was a really great video game experience. And I felt similarly like when I finished Planet of Lana. I didn't feel the same way when I beat like the Gunk or SteamWorld Dig or Night in the Woods or, like those are great games, but they just didn't hit like that transcendent, like that extra good, right? Like Planet of Lana is up there with the extra good. Yeah. It's like, it's extra good. It's better than the rest. So I really like it. I wish people would give it a try. If you're into those games, all these games we just tried to remember the names of. If any of those appeal to you,
Yes.
you should
Limbo.
give.
If you're in the limbo.
You should give Planet Alana a try.
Yes.
Inside. Speaking of Limbo.
Inside, which I loved a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very similar to Inside, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's talk about a game I didn't like so much.
Oh.
Fort Solis.
Oh, did you buy that?
I played. Not only I bought it, I played it and finished it.
No way.
Yes.
And it wasn't good?
I did not. It's so. This is the best way to describe it.
Mid?
Fort Solis has a great story that would make a really good movie.
Hey, is it a great story? Or like a
story's
acceptable
story's really good.
It's great.
Story's really
great
good.
Story. Okay.
Good to great.
Why?
But
What
it's
makes
a
the story
terrible
great?
video game.
What makes the story great though?
It's kind of your typical sci-fi story with kind of like little surprises and stuff like that about. It's not like it's suspenseful. It's like a thriller. The acting is very good. Troy Baker is very convincing in it. The acting,
so is it the characters that make it great?
Yes, correct.
Okay, I got you. All right.
The characters make it great. The
Okay.
problem with this is they tried to build a game around a movie. So, and what I mean by that is,
Well, you
it
typically
has
like
all-
these. You're the man of Medan. Like this is your jam.
exactly. But this is the problem with that. They forgot the game.
Just like the Dark
And what
Pictures
I mean-
anthology.
No, even more so. Even more so. Because you know what it feels like? It feels like somebody was trying to make one of those games, but forgot to add in all of those elements that made those actual games.
Hmm. So what do you do in the gameplay?
Like, okay, you walk around.
And just like inspect things?
Yes. And you walk around. And you walk around. The game's 4 hours long.
Wow.
Maybe I think it's 4.5 hours long, right? And
I feel
in these
too.
4 hours.
I want to say I feel the need to just point out, didn't they make this game with like 10 people or something? Wasn't that their thing that they kept touting in the marketing? It was like just them and like 12 people made it or something.
Yeah, it's impressive because it's a
So
beautiful
I don't want to go.
It looks really nice.
I just, before we go and kill it, I at least want to bring that up. That like, this is not like a game. This isn't like a Troy Baker game from a studio of 100 people that has been worked on for 5 years. This is very indie joint type of thing.
Let me make this clear. Let me get to the good first. Beautiful game. It does not look like an indie game. It looks AAA. It looks beautiful. Amazing. It looks amazing. I would go that far. It looks like that. Like, damn, this is a really good looking game. None of that, and it plays decently. Like it fundamentally works. Like if you walk,
when you say it plays,
you walk the direction you want to go. Yes.
What do? You just walk?
You walk.
Okay. There's a
And
combat.
that's where the problem lies.
Uh-oh.
Yes and no. And this is the problem with the game. But you know how the dark picture games, you walk around for a while, and then you have some combat with like button presses and things like that.
Sure.
This does a similar thing, but imagine playing a dark pictures game where you don't have combat for like 2 hours in the game. And then the combat lasts 5 seconds.
Oh, no.
And then you go another 2 hours with no combat.
So there's like the game
And
has
then
like
you have
3 quick time events?
Pretty much, exactly. 3
Okay.
quick it's not, it's like 2. And see, the
Wow.
thing I think where it works for the dark
story,
picture
when
games
you're-
and the Telltale game.
When you're getting the story, are you getting cutscenes? Is there at least like motion captured cutscenes with these voices? Or is it more like reading?
There are a few. It's a lot of reading. It's a lot of reading. A lot of
Okay.
reading. It's a lot of video logs you find in the game and stuff
Okay,
when you're
so
getting
you're
the story
hearing-
behind the story.
Okay.
There's audio logs. There's a
All
lot.
right.
So it's a lot of information that you're being fed about the story, like a movie almost, because
Mhm.
you're going through things. You're finding the story about what happened to these people on this space station, and what they were working on, and the relationships they built, and what happens to them. Because spoilers for Fort Solis.
Sounds like Tacoma.
But at this point, don't play this. Don't play this. It's not worth it. I think it looks good, but
That means so
you'd be
much
better
coming
off,
from
like,
you.
Yeah, it's like I think the game looks good. I think it plays fine, but you can watch a walkthrough and get the whole story.
Wow.
And it's not even an enjoyable way like that. Like it's like, all right, we know what's going on. The whole story of this game is this. Essentially, a
I
beacon
just looked
goes
up
off at
Fort Solis, the full game, and it's 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Yes, and it's an hour too long.
Oh, this one says 2:30. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, bummer.
Essentially, what happens is you're this like you're a spaceman. I don't know what you're like a scientist, and you get a beacon. You and your partner get a beacon. Say, hey, something's going on at Fort Solis. You have to go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So your partner's on the comms talking to you. You go to Fort Solis. The whole base is on lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Where the scientists are working at.
Yeah, again, sounds like Tacoma.
Yeah, a lot like Tacoma. You have to go inside and find out what happens. So as you're walking, like the first hour is just the first chapter is you walking through the base, like reading stuff and like finding stuff like that. And then at the end of that first chapter, you find someone dead. Like, oh, there's a dead body. And then you have to figure out what killed this person.
Quick time
what's exactly going on here. No, not a quick time event. Just you
More
walking
reading.
around. And this is more reading. And this is the thing about it. There are parts of the game that should be quick time events that are not. It's just a cutscene. So it's like, okay. And then when it didn't add a quick time event in there, like, oh, we just threw this in there. Like, so you'll be watching a cutscene
Dude, this sounds bad.
for like 3 minutes, and then they'll just randomly throw like a hit press circle.
You know what? Like the thought
game
just
from?
hit in my brain is like, we've gotten demos with more gameplay than you're describing.
You know what? You are 100% right.
Oof, that's not good. No bueno.
Yeah.
What if
And
you're
that's
the
the whole
person that's like really into like walking sim narrative adventure games?
You might dig it. Because like I said, the story I think is really good. I think the acting.
How does this
once you
compare to
get-
something like Edith Finch or like Firewatch? Jesus. I've beaten Firewatch twice.
Story-wise, I think story-wise is a little bit under it, but it's still really good. I
Okay.
enjoyed the story of it when I got to it. But
All
like
right.
I said,
So if
it's
you're
a
into
slow
those
build.
narrative games, maybe.
You know what it's like? Cape Fear. There you go.
Like what?
Cape Fear is the movie Cape Fear in Space. That's
Cape
essentially
Fear
what
in
it is.
Space. Got it.
That's the best way to describe it. But you have to get there first.
That doesn't do a whole
And that's
lot
where
for
the
me.
problem lies.
What's up,
It's
Sean?
not great. What's up, Sean? It's just one of those things where, like I said,
How
I
much does
wanted
Fort
to like
Solis
this
cost?
game a lot. I don't even remember. I think it's like $30.
That's how much money Delvin's gotten. He's just buying games. He doesn't
is
even
very
look at the
accurate.
price. He's just purchase.
This is one of those games I was excited for. Because
Yeah,
I was
I
really
never
excited
got
for-
there from the moment they showed it and like how limited they showed to release. It just didn't. I don't know. I was never really sold on it. And the Summer Games Fest, that was like a nail in the coffin. Like seeing them come out and like tell this terrible joke, and like I was like, no. Like I don't know.
$24.99.
I never got a good vibe from the game.
Yes, it's a very pretty game, very very gorgeous game,
Well, that's good.
but it's not much game there at all.
Hey Tim.
Hey Tim, it's just
Okay.
I just was very underwhelmed with it.
Bummer. Well, at least you played the final
Unfortunate.
Lana. You got that going for you.
Yeah, and I talked about the last game I played because you might, and I sent it to you. I like the game so much, I bought you a copy and sent it to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's called. Let me look it up because I want to remember it. It's called Super Space Club.
Super Space Club.
Essentially, what it is, it's asteroids. It's a modern version of asteroids. It's super colorful, bright. It has like little fun characters that you play as in the game, and you just like go around in your spaceship and you're shooting, and it has kind of this kind of cool, chill music to play that's in the background that you're playing under. It's
Yeah.
made by one guy. I actually interviewed the guy on the podcast, and he sent me a copy of the game. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. And I checked it out. I'm like, this is pretty relaxing to play. And I was really digging it. So I
That's cool.
highly recommend checking it out if you want something to just calm your nerves and let you relax a little bit, kill some time. It's dope. I'm
I
playing
do
on
like
Steam
games
Deck.
like this.
It's fantastic. Yes, it's really
Kinda
cool. It's
reminds me
Asteroids.
of-
It's a modern version of Asteroids.
It's kind of like Graceful Explosion Machine. Who's the guy that you interviewed?
Let me look up his name, which is crazy because I just talked to him a few minutes ago.
What's up, Ernesto? Thanks for joining us.
Let me look it up on Twitter. But he created the game. He's a really cool dude. Let me, because I want to. His name's Graham Reed.
Nice. Cool.
He's a person of color who developed this game, and he's super into video games. He loves podcasts, stuff like that. And he got this kind of cool, like lo-fi soundtrack to it, and it's a really cool game. I enjoy it a lot.
I'll have to give it a try. I did accept your gift, but I haven't been able to download anything or play anything today. I was downtown all day.
Yes, I can imagine you've had a busy week.
Today sucked. Today was the worst.
Yeah.
I had to go to a meeting. I had to go to a meeting with a bunch of. I'd better not describe them. I'll get canceled for saying some shit. I'll just leave it alone. Just
Yes, I've been to those type of meetings.
I was out of my element, just say the least.
Yes.
I had to
I've been
go
around
to a gymnasium full of people where nobody spoke to me, nor did I speak to anyone. And I had to sit there for hours and doing nothing, and then traffic to and from getting there. So it wasn't great. It wasn't my favorite day.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. Anyway, that's why we do the show, right? Pick me up. That's why tonight I didn't make a drink like I normally did. Tonight I just grabbed the bottle. My wife was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Yeah."
I was going to say, based off of the day you've been having, I'm surprised you
days,
have a crack rock with you. Like,
Yeah,
just
one
like,
of
what,
those
like just a pipe.
Oh man. So yeah, is that it? Anything else?
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
You didn't play no Starfield? We have no Starfield for the people.
I played 10 minutes of it. It's not enough to make like a full judgment on it. Like I played the little tutorial of it, and I got in space. I'm like, I hate this space section. I really don't like flying the spaceship. Like I got there, like, nope.
Well, I think that's why they made it where you don't have to. Right? It's just like a multi-cascading menu system, apparently.
Yeah. Once I got the space, I'm like, I'm stopping right here. I did not like that part.
I feel bad for Sean. Maybe Dev will come and save the Starfield fanatics, but like, I've got no love for. Like, we may not be the best podcast for Starfield fans, and I feel bad because I know a lot of folks listen to me for Xbox love, but like, I got nothing.
I have to get into it. I have to get used to the flying, but I didn't.
Yeah, maybe you'll come back and be like, it's great.
Yeah, on first glance of playing it, I'm like, I don't like this at all. It's a lot of buttons. Like if you do all this shield and stuff,
don't have nothing nice to say, like don't say it. That's kind of how I feel about Starfield. I'm like, maybe I just don't bring it up. I watched Sean play many hours of the game, and my couple podcasts I listen to it. I've listened to them, and I have a friend of mine who's planning on listening to him, and I am all but reaffirmed my decision of not playing this game was the correct one. I was hesitant that this game would be for me on the front end. Having seen people play it, I'm like, this is absolutely not the game for me. Make fun of me all you want. I understand how this statement will come off. 10 out of 10 times, I'd rather play Redfall, without question. Like
there you go.
It's just more my sort of game. Like you're right, the Starfield just isn't my game for many reasons, I think.
See, D-Life agrees with me. He says the flying isn't that good. Yeah, I don't like the flying so far. Maybe it'll grow on me, but
I have heard
as of right now, like
that the story, people are really digging the story of the campaign, which is nice. Like that's almost tempting to like just play that and figure it out. But then you see people and they're like doing the floaty jumps and they're lasering rocks and they're, doing fast travel and they're managing inventory and upgrade. I'm like, no, it's not. Never mind. It's not worth it.
Well, that's a Fallout type game, and I expected all
it is.
That
yeah,
so
no,
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I think that's spot on. And you've never heard me say I enjoy playing Fallout. Likewise, I've never enjoyed playing Mass Effect. So like my initial impression, I feel has been found correct. This is just not a game for me, and that's okay. That's like it's a good thing, right? Like I'm not gonna play it just because it's like the hotness that everybody's playing. Is more or less what I'm gonna say.
I will say this: when I started playing the game, and I got to gunplay and stuff like that, like, oh, this is fun. This I got that Mass Effect feeling into
See
the game.
Daniel. Daniel's been on the Discord talking about how great the gunplay is. I think the gunplay is just like gunplay. Nothing of it looks amazing to me.
It's better than normal Fallout gunplay. I will say that.
Is that like a high bar though? That's not a high bar, right?
Oh, I wouldn't say so.
And I don't mean to sound like I'm coming off on it. I'm honestly just trying to be honest with my assessment and what I've seen. What I've seen, like it looks like, standard gun gameplay for like standard video game. Nothing about the gunplay or the combat makes me scream like, oh, you've got to try it. The combat is so, blank. I'm not seeing that. It's just gunplay.
Yeah.
Right?
And yeah, you're correct.
Maybe chat can correct me. Let me know, Daniel.
I have never really liked Fallout's gunplay. So having a game that's kind of in that Fallout universe that has decent gunplay is cool for me.
Sean says the variety in guns makes for fun gunplay. So he must be digging the guns.
That's great. That makes me excited.
I'm looking forward. I was upset that Dev isn't here tonight because I was looking forward to hearing both of you talk about it. Because, I mean, like, this is the big game, right? It's kind of, we're such a failure of a video game podcast that this is like the giant release. You've got nothing. Yeah. Like, we've played collectively, we've played all of 10 minutes. Game came out a week ago.
Yeah. Yep. That's pretty much it. We got 10 minutes. Want to hear some more about Fort Solis? There you go. I played
you had 30 minutes of Fort Solis and you got zilch on Starfield, what people want to hear about. So, listeners, we've let you down.
Well, I've saved you $24.99.
We failed you.
Fort Solis.
Nobody was buying that damn game anyway. They're all playing Starfield. Like that's what they're playing. Oh, hang on. Forgive me. I stand incorrect. Nobody on Xbox or PC is playing Fort Solis. Now, if you're trying to get your Starfield fixed by playing Fort Solis over in PlayStation Land, that's on you. Okay? Whatever you got to do to cover up that wound in your heart, okay? You can't fill that hole in your life with Fort Solis, Delvin. You should have known better.
Yeah, you know what? This is one of the times where Steam Deck ain't looking too bad. People are playing Starfield on Steam Deck.
Yeah, I hear Starfield runs extremely well.
It runs good, apparently.
On the Ally. Like, it runs really well.
I heard it runs good on the Steam Deck, too.
There are people in the Ally Discord talking about it runs better than it does on damn console. I don't know what that means. I haven't dove into it, but, like, I've seen some general stats. I guess they're getting more frames than consoles.
That's dope. And to answer your question, D-Life, I'm going to play Sea of Stars before I go and check this week.
And to answer your question, D-Life, no.
Absolutely not.
Not even a little bit. They're trying to give that
My
game
son
away.
Is playing it.
They're like, you get Sea of Stars, and you get Sea of Stars, and I'm just like putting my fingers in my ears.
Yeah. People like it, apparently. Except the dialogue, apparently. That's a problem in the game.
That was a problem for Rebecca. I don't know if that's a problem for people. Her and Jason Schreier
hasn't mentioned it yet. And my son hasn't mentioned it yet. So either he doesn't care or he can't read.
Don't read good.
He's like, well, this seems fine.
Sean mentioned to me that people are upset about the grammar. I didn't realize, I guess it was as big a deal as I guess it is. I don't know.
See, D-Life's a dummy just like my son. He didn't notice it either.
It's nice, being a simpleton. You're like, yeah, I don't know. It didn't bother me.
Oh, I don't know.
Nothing like that.
I wouldn't notice. Probably wouldn't notice it either.
Ignorance is bliss sometimes, man. You just stick that head in the sand and keep on keeping on.
Just keep on just ignoring it.
Don't let Jason Schreier ruin your good time with a video game. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Fuck him.
Tell him to keep his commas.
Just call him a nerd. When he tells you something like, look at nerd.
You're like, listen here. Listen here. We're not out here putting in indents and paragraphs and stuff in our text messages. Like, this is shorthand. Okay, this is the way of the world.
Get with the times, nerd.
Hey, Daniel, if it makes you feel any better, I call myself a simpleton all the time. Like, I'm generally like that. I like simple things, man.
Simple Simon. I love it.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. Ignorance is bliss.
Speaking of simple, I'm having a grand old time playing Trine 5.
Is it good?
It is great. Like, it actually is objectively great. It's fantastic.
I've only played the first one, but I like the first
Same.
one a lot.
Well, not the same. No, I've played multiples of them. The first one that I played, my introduction to Trine was on Wii U, which I believe was the first one. It was like a remake of Trine, right? You call it the definitive edition or something like that.
Correct. I think I played it on PS3.
And I played that on Wii U because at the time, Wii U didn't have games. So when a game like that came out, you took notice. And I did. And I bought it and played it and loved it. And then I played Trine 2, and I liked it a lot too. Then I played Trine 3, and it felt a lot like the games I'd already played. And I was like, all right. I did not like it, but it was just like more of the same, to the point where I didn't play Trine 4 because it looked the same. Like it was just looked more the same. So here, I want to say this. This might be the fact that I didn't play 4, so it's been a couple years since I've messed with it. But I saw Trine 5, and I think immediately Trine 5 visually looks better than it's ever looked. Like it looks really good visually. So that got my interest. Like that was what interested me when I saw Trine 5 for the first time. Okay. And then as I started to watch some previews, you start seeing that, like you still have the 3 people. You're still going to swap to solve puzzles. They still have mostly the same abilities, like the thief has a bow and arrow. Amadeus can like conjure boxes and platforms, and Pontius has a sword and a shield. But you've got more stuff. Like now there's like a skill tree that you can invest into, and like you can get a hammer and you get different abilities, and like you can respec your skills. But more importantly than any of that, like the level design, the solutions to the puzzles that I had seen looked different than what I experienced before. And in a way that I'm enjoying, because I'm pretty sure I've solved several puzzles in ways that you weren't supposed to. And that I think is what's got me like most excited. Because like I can kind of see what they want me to do, but then kind of like the Zelda shrines, like I can kind of be like, yeah, but if I just do this instead, I can just go past it. I've done that a few times. It makes me feel really smart. But I like this series a lot because it's like, to me, it's like Fable-ish. You get this kind of enchanting fairy tale story narration, as they tell of these 3 heroes and stuff. And it's kind of, it's kind of like dumb, charming, kind of like Fable. And add in like the new, I don't know what to call it, visual style, just the glow up, like the enhanced visuals. And so I'm enjoying it.
Looks better than it looks more than like an indie game or something.
I'll tell you, this is how good it looks. I don't know. This is the best way that I can explain it. Hopefully this lands with people that listen to me describe games. I bought this game first and foremost to play on my Ally. It's going to be a portable game. I played on the Wii U gamepad. I played on the Switch. Like to me, Trine is a portable game.
Yes.
I played the first 10 minutes on the Ally, and I thought the game looked so good on the Ally. I was like, I've got to blow this up to 4K. Like I got to put this on the PC and see what it looks like there. And I have only been playing on PC since. I deleted out the Ally. I'm not even playing on the Ally anymore because the Ally wasn't doing it justice. Like I could tell on the screen, I was like, this isn't good enough. Like this is a really, really good looking game. Kind of like Gree. Like you want to blow this up, put it on your big screen, put it on your HD TV, put it in 4K, make it as crisp and as vibrant as possible, get in the HDR, get your vivid color setting on, and just like really take in the light rays and the sun rays that come through the trees and reflect off the metals, and get all that graphics porn, get all of it that you can. And I think I've been trying to turn some heads. I've been going around the Discords for the last week, and every so often I'll drop like 4 or 5 screenshots of the game, and every time I've done that, somebody has asked me what the game I'm playing. Every time I've just posted the pictures, I'm like, here's pictures of the games I'm playing. And every time I've done that, somebody has been like, what is that? So I think I stand proven that when you see the game, like it's stunning, like it's gorgeous. It's very pretty.
Okay.
And I like a pretty game. Visuals aren't everything, but I do love a good, pretty game. And like this one's hitting, and the gameplay is good. the gameplay's a lot of fun, and the story is funny. Like there's like an army of robot knights taking over the kingdom. They're trying to take your powers away, and you're kind of like on the run, which is fun.
Sounds dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm here. Thumbs up, approved, buy it, whatever rubric scale we want to go on. Donnie recommends Trine 5. Got a better review score than Starfield for my GS.
There you go. The Starfield killer.
The Starfield killer, Trine 5.
Yes. Not Planet Solus.
Reviews are dumb. Like if there's nothing else to show you about how arguing over reviews is dumb, it's just that. Just the fact that IGN put out 2 reviews on the same day. And Trine 5 was like, this is the must-play game right now. While, 100 million people were playing Starfield. So.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Reviews are dumb, John 32. That's what you missed.
So, yeah, that's it, man. That's really all I've had time to play. It's just that. It took me off my Chia. I don't know if I'll go back to it. I'm just kind of biding my time. I want to do a little of The Crew, and then Cyberpunk, I guess, is kind of like my plan. So
Cyberpunk's end of this month, right?
Yeah, it's in a couple of weeks. So while you and Dev go forth into the Starfield, I'll be prepping for my Cyberpunk run. I'm hoping I want them to release the patch earlier than the DLC. I don't know if they will. I don't know if that's unfounded hope, but like in my head, like I'm kind of hoping that like September 15th, they're like Cyberpunk 2.0 or whatever is out, and I can play some of the game and check out the respec and like get the ground back underneath my feet, like get reacquainted, and then prepare to get ready to go to Phantom Liberty. Like that's my plan.
Okay.
But they haven't said
I probably need to
when they're going to
download Cyberpunk back in my system then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta have that.
About that time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys. Thank you, John 32.
I'm very excited. Very excited for Phantom Liberty.
All right. I guess let's get to this news then.
Yeah, I got 2 TikToks for you because I couldn't decide which one to play for you. So we'll start here. Delvin, have you ever seen this?
Stop. Hammer time.
I have never seen that.
Did you hear him when he bounced down and came back up?
Yes.
You could hear his age. He's like,
yes, I did.
For audio only listeners, that is MC Hammer doing his music video without the music. Yeah, you can't touch
the music. Yes.
And then here was our actual TikTok for the night.
Is he the most athletic person that you've ever been on a field with?
No, my cousin Junebug. He was a crackhead and a good dude though, but he was very athletic because he was still stuff when I came home from college and could never catch him. And he would sell it, and I would have to go get it back at the hood from the drug dealers. He was probably the most athletic. My cousin.
He's 100% accurate. Everyone who lives in the hood has that 100% that cousin Junebug, who's athletic as shit, who's gonna stick shit.
In honor of Dion and his impressive week 1 win as college football returns, I thought that was fitting.
Yeah. Yes.
Dion, is Bo Jackson the most athletic player you've ever seen? Nah. My cousin Junebug, crackhead. I could never catch him. Imagine saying that. Deion Sanders, like, I could never catch him. He was so fast.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
Imagine the ego you must have if you're Deion Sanders' cousin and he's like, can't catch him, man. He's too quick. Like the ego that you would have would just be through the roof. I thought those were
he's
funny.
telling that story to other people.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But if anybody knows a crackhead, you know that story is 100% true. Like, it's not without question. Like it's factual.
It's incredible.
You're not catching no crackhead.
News block this month, or this week, on this week's episode, is this month's games that are coming out. So, Chance of Sonora is an indie puzzler that's out now. NBA 2K24 is out on the 8th. The Saturday morning cartoon Myth Force comes out on the 12th. Gunbrella.
Oh, yeah, that looked cool.
The new Devolver joint comes out on the 13th. It's got a demo available everywhere. Go play the demo.
Okay.
Thunder Ray, the neon-soaked Punch-Out game, and the Crew Motorfest drop on the 14th.
Okay.
Gloomhaven, the board game adaptation, hits consoles on the 18th. Mortal Kombat 1 drops on the 19th. And Delvin, I want to ask you, is this game being overlooked? Not thought about?
Oh, not at all. People,
you don't think so?
They just had a big story about it today. Because apparently Megan Fox is in the game.
Well, that's good. I feel like I'm not hearing as much buzz about Mortal Kombat as I was Street Fighter, just like from the industry as a whole.
lot of the stuff is leaking. That's why.
Well, I saw they leaked the roster.
DLC characters. Yeah, so it's like constantly having leaks, but people are talking about it. People are hyped for it.
Okay.
The thing about it is people like the leak, so it's like, yeah, the stuff is leaking, like, oh, we found out about Homelander and stuff like that, but people are like, oh, this is awesome. So it's not really hurting the game.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of times, especially with fighting
hyped.
games, this stuff is usually like controlled leaks. I think it's like leaking kind of on purpose.
Yes. Megan Fox is playing Natara, but it's her face in the game. So it looks like her.
Well, that's cool.
So
I was wondering if it was bad timing, right? With all the Cyberpunk talk and all the Starfield talk. And I hadn't seen a whole lot of like, can't wait for Mortal Kombat. But I'm also might not be just may not be in the Mortal Kombat sphere.
Like
It just seems like a
2K
huge
for that
game
matter.
that I should be hearing more
It
about,
is.
I guess.
Yeah, it's like NBA 2K. Those who play NBA 2K are hyped for it, and it's going to sell like crazy. And those who don't care about NBA 2K will never hear anything about it.
That's true.
Like I'm hyped for NBA 2K. I just ordered the collector's edition of it, so I'm ready for it when it comes out.
I haven't got
They
this
usually
year's
do the
game
thing
yet.
where it releases early. I got it like a couple weeks ago. I traded a whole
I think
bunch
I'm
of
gonna
games I
wait.
had that was just sitting there.
I bought the League Pass edition last year, and I just didn't watch a whole lot of League Pass. And I played a lot of the game, but like I don't have the time to play a lot of it right now. So I think I'm gonna wait. The longer I wait, the better the deal I'll get. Right?
Yeah, that's 100% facts. They pulled me in with what they did last year, when you could play like previous generations of basketball.
Yeah, the eras. I was all about
the
it.
eras, and I think they expanded on it this year. So
I did 2 franchises in the eras mode, and I probably played like 7 seasons, and that's a lot for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I went through multiple seasons
I'll
with
play all
both
that.
teams. I did a 90s team and an early odds team. So I
that's
wish
where the
Madden
fun's
would
at.
do something like that. That would be like a
They
day one
100%
for
should
me.
do something like that.
Yeah.
I would buy Madden again if they started doing that.
Yeah, me too. I think what I'm hoping for is I'm thinking if I wait until like Thanksgiving or probably Christmas, I'll probably get the 2K League Pass edition for like half. And then I can watch like the second half of the season and get the game probably for like the price of the game. Because I think that's what they did last year is they started running discounts. And I was like, I should have waited. Because I paid like the $150 version. And I think you could get it for like $89.99. I was like, I should have waited. So
You can wait for it. Yeah, wait.
I don't have time to play it now anyway. So, like it's easy. It's an easy one to wait. Any game that I'm not playing right now, it's easy to wait on. Speaking of, Payday 3 comes out the 21st. And then
I'm playing
Pikmin 1 and 2 physical edition, which I plan to buy, comes out on the 22nd. But again, I'm not going to be playing them anytime soon, so I can wait.
Okay. I only played the first Pikmin game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I'll probably pick up that just to try the second one. And maybe because my son keeps telling me I need to play 4, so I'll probably
Pikmin 4 is spectacular. It's very fun.
Okay.
I stopped playing it after other games came out, which is par for the course for me with Pikmin. I'm not like super into Pikmin. I've ever needed to like finish it, but it's very good.
Great.
As we discussed about, Phantom Liberty comes out the 26th, the Cyberpunk DLC expansion, and they're next big game update should be coming out around that time at some point. And then rounding off the month, we have EA Sports Football Club 24 and Cocoon, which drops on the 29th.
The hell is Cocoon?
That's the
Like the
indie
movie?
game. It's coming to Game Pass. It's coming to Switch. It's from the Inside and Limbo developers that split off.
Oh,
So
okay.
That developer, they had was it Undead? Undead? Not Undead Labs. That's not it. Oh my god, it's gonna kill me now. Can't think tonight. Playdead. I didn't even finish typing the Google. Playdead. Playdead Studios. They are two creators, bosses. I guess they had irreconcilable differences or whatever, and they split. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think Cocoon is from Playdead. It's not. It's from the developer who used to work at Playdead. He's making his own game. So he started his own studio.
Interesting.
So we're still expecting
Looking
like
this up right now.
Playdead's next game, which they've kind of shown teasers for. But yeah, Cocoon is from half of that outfit. We'll see how it is. I'm excited for it.
Carlson.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do not know the names. I'm not that good to remember the names of everybody.
Okay, it looks interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it looks more like, similarly, cryptic puzzle platformer-ish type of game. Like there's like orbs and stuff that they had in the trailer, the last trailer I remember watching. I haven't really heard or seen too much go hands-on because like it's coming to Game Pass. I'm gonna try it, just like Somerville, right? Like I'm here for it. I'm gonna give it a try. We'll see what
These
it's all
games
about.
usually are great to get on Game Pass. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in the legacy. We'll see. I'm like, anytime we have like a split, I'm always wondering like where the thing that I like is going. Like where on which side of the split do I fall? Maybe I'll like both, but like you got to worry about that as like,
It's the whole Ben Affleck, Matt Damon argument. Like,
you
the
know
whole
what?
story about Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
really good.
When they both stood up, they were like, all right, who really wrote this movie and who kind of slacked off? You look at both of their careers like, all right, we can kind of see where it kind of
Speaking of Ben
glanced off
Affleck,
of.
something I should have told you when we were talking about what we were playing. I tried to watch the Flash movie and turned it off.
It's terrible.
It's a bad movie. Like I honestly
It's
thought
awful.
I thought I was going to get into it, but like, all right, I know everybody hates Ezra Miller and all that, and good for them.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, it can't be like that bad of a movie. No, it is. It just as a
Yeah,
movie,
yes, it is.
literally, you take all of that
It's
other
really bad.
stuff out of the equation. It just sucks. It's
Yeah.
just not a good movie.
It's really bad.
I couldn't even finish it. Man. I was just like, this is terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. Like
I was actively telling myself, I was like, you're just wasting your time right now. Like you could just watch anything else.
yeah, anything else.
So, but I still like Ben Affleck as Batman. He didn't get a good run. Terrible shake, man.
I agree.
He's really
He
good.
got a really bad deal.
He really did,
He's
right?
really
Like,
good
why
at
couldn't like he not that I'm not trying to recast Christian Bale or anything. It's just why can't his movies be like as good as the Christopher Nolan movies, or why couldn't he get casted?
Like,
Why couldn't he get casted as like the Batman's Batman, right? Like, why did he get put in this shit? Or he's having like fantasy fights with Superman about moms and stupid Flash quips, and I'm like, man, this is awful. Like we've truly wasted what could have been an excellent Batman with awful roles. Awful. I don't blame him at all for it. I really don't.
Yeah,
Batfleck
could have been a great.
He could have been great. Yeah, he's a tremendous Bruce Wayne.
Yes, he is.
My favorite scene in The Flash is him just talking to Barry sitting by the car. I was like, dude, he's great. Like, this is truly a great.
Like Bruce Wayne.
It's a perfect role for him, and they ruined it.
Completely fucked it up.
Just completely ruined it, man. It's so bad.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. That is upsetting.
Even his mask sucks. Like even his outfit is not good. They messed up the cowl. Like, why does he look like he has like a rubber, like, and it's got kind of dimply, and like, what is going on with the mask?
They tried to make it like the comics, like the Dark Knight Returns comic, but it doesn't translate well to film.
Why are we fixing things that aren't broken. Like we know how to do Batman on the screen. Why are we messing with it?
Yes. Yes, and I agree, D-Life. Michael Keaton was great as Batman. Even with that little
I told you guys he was my favorite Batman, and you guys killed me for it. We had a whole show about this 50 episodes ago.
My favorite Batman is
the animated
series. But Michael Keaton,
I know.
yeah.
But I said Keaton, and y'all killed me for it. Y'all skewered me for saying Keaton's my favorite Batman.
I think he's a good Batman. I thought it was a
He's
good
the
Batman.
best Batman. It's not a good Batman. He's the best Batman. Get it together.
I'm trying to think. Do I like Michael Keaton more than I like Christian Bale?
Yeah, 100%. Not even a little bit.
Probably.
It's not even close.
I think Christian Bale has the better movie with The Dark Knight, but I didn't like
yeah. No, we're not talking about the movies.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the movies. No, Bale was blessed that he had like incredible movies to act in. Like, they made it easy on him. But make no mistake, if Keaton got those movies, they'd be better. Because he's a better Batman.
Keaton was a great Batman. He is a great Batman.
Yeah.
Without question. But Kevin Conroy's my favorite. He's awesome.
I think that's the answer you're supposed to have. That is like the fan answer. Like, I'm a real fan. Conroy's my favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. You didn't have to,
like
don the suit and act or look or anything, but sure. It's okay. Good deal.
If you're like,
good job,
80s,
guys.
You say Adam West. Adam West.
Right.
Yeah, that's my Batman. The one who falls on whoopee cushions and shit like that. You shark repellent.
I fast forwarded the Flash to see the Keaton parts and then turned it off. I had to see it and then turn it off. God, they probably shouldn't have released that.
Yeah. And the thing that sucks about it is they have really cool elements in it. Like you said, both of the Batmans are cool. They had Supergirl. I thought she was cool. But the movie itself is just, ugh.
And it was weird. Like, they were trying to be serious, but then it was like mockumentary and it was like a parody of itself. Like, it was like half like DC, DC, what do they call themselves? What's their version of the Justice League? Like, it was like half Justice League, half scary movie. I was like, what are they doing? Like, they would build some actual tension and then ruin it with some ridiculous joke. It's like it was really stuck between what they wanted to be.
That beginning scene is so stupid.
Yeah.
I almost walked out when it happened. Like, this is awful. Like, this can't be real.
James Gunn has quite the mess to clean up. I don't know. I don't think they can do it.
Peacemaker's excellent, by the way. I like.
If I were them, I wouldn't even try. Like, I know they're defiantly trying to be the MCU. If I were them, I would try to just be absolutely different from them in every sense of the way. Because the more you compare to them, the more you can't be them, I think.
But then again, they tried that, and this is what we got. Like that, they tried. DC tried to be the dark, grittier version, and
I didn't like the Batman like people did, but that was infinitely better than Flash.
Yeah, I liked the Batman. I thought it was good.
That was good.
It wasn't amazing.
It
was okay. It was good. It was good. This is good.
Right. It was way better than the Flash. That's how bad the Flash is.
Way better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Better,
just awful.
I like Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle's pretty good. I recommend Blue Beetle.
Okay. I don't know what that is, so I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah. It's kind of James Gunn's first movie, but not really. It was already in production, but it's going to be part of this universe.
They should give him a hard reset. They should go 6 years without releasing anything. Let everybody forget all of this that happened and then come back with something like a new cast.
I wouldn't
be
opposed to this.
I think barring that, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to keep going down this road.
As long as he keeps Peacemaker. Peacemaker's great. I love that show. Great show.
I thought it was a movie.
No, it's a TV show. John Cena. It's great.
Isn't there a Peacemaker movie?
Of the Suicide Squad. No, he was in the Suicide Squad movie.
Okay, that must be thinking of the movie.
And they spun it off into a TV show. And
I'm with you. I can't see.
Excellent.
He says we need to go back to standalone movies and series instead of all this interconnected mess. I'm with you. That's what I would do for DC.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea for DC.
Oh God, we're gonna keep going down this damn train. I shouldn't have got this started. I'm now regretting ever bringing this up. But since we're here, Delvin, I think what the MCU is doing and continuing to doing is tarnishing what they did with the original MCU Thanos run. They should have capped it and went and done their own thing. The fact that they keep coming back to the well is ruining it. You're diluting it. You're making it worse.
I kind of agree.
If they had stopped, it would have been like the greatest collection of like a cinematic universe ever. And they keep going to it, and it's making people not like, it's turning people off.
I kind of agree. And it's not because I don't like it now. It's just more like people want that same experience they got from before.
And
That experience is like, you can't get it again.
Can't live up to that level. Yep. 100%.
Ended that.
And
So
you're going to, and
kind of rebuild a whole
naturally,
universe.
over time, you're going to lose people. They're not going to keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming, like, you know, like you're just going to, they're losing the war of attrition. And, you know, like the old adage is like less is more. Like it's just too much. It's just saturated. They've diluted it. Dilution is the right word. They've diluted it with the series and the series on different networks and the Disney Plus. Like it's too much now.
Yeah. And then you add to the fact that everybody's kind of just basically waiting for like, hey, when are the X-Men showing up now? We know you have them. Just give us the X-Men.
And they ran out of time, like with the cast right now. Like they don't have Iron Man anymore. They, you know, like these people have moved on, and like they should have just capped it. Like that's universe 1, and then set a new universe. Like the fact that they tried to keep the money cart going, I think, is a mistake.
Yeah, I can agree with that because it's diminishing returns right now.
Yep.
There are certain things people are going to be crazy about, like Black Panther, of course, but then you lost Chadwick. But then there's certain things where people are like, I don't really care about that.
Well, in that regard, like I think you can recast that role. One, just wears a mask. Anybody that's in a mask, you can recast. 2, like the guy actually died. Like you can recast somebody that actually died. Like you know, it's not like they didn't step away. I think it's harder when they step away because you're going to have the living like representation of what used to be, right? If they just do another Iron Man movie right now, they're going to be like, dude, Robert Downey Jr. is right there. Like we know how good it can be. He's right there. Why didn't you just have him do it?
It depends. It depends on how well the person do it. Like I feel like with the Black Panther role, people are so attached to Chadwick as a person, and he kind of defined that role. They don't want to recast it. Like,
well, that's people getting in their feelings. You can't stop that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think there's a natural progression to recast someone who's passed away. Like you have to continue. You're never going to not use this character again. Of course, you're going to recast the role. I think it's a little harder when an actor just steps outside of the role, they just step away. That makes it harder because you're always going to live next to that comparison. Right.
Yeah, that's accurate. We're seeing more of that because Henry Cavill stepped away from the Witcher role. So we're going to see, I think it hasn't come out yet, the new season.
Yeah, exactly.
What is his name? The other what is the guy name? Hemsworth brother. The other one, Liam.
I don't know. Why are you asking me?
Yeah, I forgot. You're not into that.
Courtney's got it.
Thor's
Let Chris
little
Pratt
brother
play Black Panther.
Absolutely not Courtney. No fucking way in hell are we doing
Black
that.
Panther, starring Chris Pratt. Hold up. Wait a fucking minute.
Wait a minute. Wakanda forever.
Anyway, let's get back on page. Alone in the Dark has been delayed to January 16th, 2024.
God damn it.
Developer Pieces Interactive said it is gracefully stepping away from the chaotic October release window to, quote, avoid competing with the wake of Alan's epic release and evade the dazzling skyline of cities adorned by the graceful swings of Spider-Man.
Smart move.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it's a smart move. January is not that much stuff.
Can I push back on you?
Be my guest.
This is one generally I'm probably just being devil's advocate here, but like I half-heartedly believe this. Generally, I'm all for getting out of the way of major blockbusters because I often disagree with Dev. We argue about this all the time. I think the gaming medium as a whole can only support so many games at a time. I realize that different games appeal to different gamers, but there's a whole swath in that Venn diagram of like the middle gamer that's like just going to play like the popular hot thing. That's Spider-Man. Like when Spider-Man comes out, like most people are going to play Spider-Man. The problem with Alone in the Dark, though, is that it's a Halloween game. And for them to miss that Halloween window when people are going to be wanting to play something spooky, looking to play something spooky, trying to find something to play, I think you miss all of that in January. I think there will be people that play it in January, but I actually question if it's going to be more. Because I could make the case it might be less. Because I think come January, people just don't care anymore about Alone in the Dark. I don't think a lot of people care to begin with.
Maybe. See, and that's the problem. I don't think a lot of people care to begin with. But I think around Alan Wake, Spider-Man, and it's a whole bunch of shit coming out October, people would probably care less.
You might, yeah. I mean, I think you might be right. Like I said, I half-heartedly believe this. Like, if I were running that studio, I'd be kind of pressed here because I'd want that Halloween window. I really would. I realize that a lot of people are probably going to be going Alan Wake. That'd be me. But yeah. I mean, for me, I'm when they're like, we're releasing in January, literally just that change, Alone in the Dark release in January, I'm less interested in playing just from that. I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to play that in January. Like at that point, I might wait to play Alone in the Dark next Halloween.
Okay.
Depends on what's releasing. Like I'm not in a rush to be playing Alone in the Dark in January.
I feel like because it's coming out in January, this probably will be my Forspoken. This will be the game that I will play at the beginning of the year and will play through it with no problems. Like, all right, I'm done. This is the game I'm going to focus on. Because
he says, but
it comes out in January.
He says, but don't people like spooky in January, February too? I don't know. Do they?
Sometimes.
I don't. I don't think I do.
When did what's the game that came out earlier? I think it came out last year. It came out in December. The game that's like Dead Space.
Callisto?
Callisto. When did Callisto come out?
Yeah, you might be right.
Dead Space was February. Dead Space was February. Callisto was like January or December or something like that.
I was gonna say November, but you might be right. I think it might have got a late delay. Was it first week December?
It did. Something like that, I think. Yeah.
December 2nd. Yeah, good point.
There you go.
And I played, but I was way more. And maybe it's just me thing. I don't want to be projecting. Maybe it's just me. I played Callisto, but I was really interested in Callisto. I'm like half interested in Alone in the Dark. So moving into January, I feel like lessens my interest. And I don't know. I'll probably play it before next Halloween, but like, I don't know. Whatever reason for me, putting it in January makes me, I don't know, less needing to buy it right away to play it. Like I probably just play it whenever I have a lull.
Yeah, makes sense. Another game got delayed that no one cares about, but I do. RoboCop was supposed to come out this month, the 21st.
I forgot that was even a thing.
It looks actually decent.
Yeah, but you just bought Fort Solis too, so I don't know about that.
That looked decent and it was absolutely terrible.
That's what I'm saying. Like you get sold pretty well on these things sometimes, Delvin.
Well, I love RoboCop, so that's like, this is a good looking.
Yeah,
game.
I know.
So,
I can't see. Says, do you think we'll see a Q1 wave of games? Stalker 2 to Slade. I mean, yeah, I think generally that's going to be
happens every year now.
Yeah, happens every year.
Now, like around February, March, it just start coming out a bunch of games just getting late to that time frame. So it's kind of like, yeah.
And maybe they'll find a better time in January. I know we typically say that, but like games have been releasing in December and January more often the last couple of years than normal.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be so sure about that. But we'll see.
We kind of get games year round now. It's like there's almost not a month where we don't have any games to play, really.
Yeah. And I do think it's smart for the smaller publishers to get out of the way of the bigger game releases. If you can, right? Like sometimes you don't have a choice, but if you can, just get out of the way. Because I think maybe Mortal Kombat's suffering from some of that now. I agree with you. I think Mortal Kombat fans are there, but I think if all of this stuff wasn't happening, I feel like Mortal Kombat would be a much bigger, like we heard about Street Fighter relentlessly for like a month. You know, yeah, like I'm not getting the sense that like the publication push on Mortal Kombat has really got started yet. Maybe they're waiting.
I agree with that. They might be waiting. Plus, you know, a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of stuff out. You know, Starfield is the big hype right now. So,
isn't Tekken coming out in January?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I think there's some January games this year, so I don't think it's like Alone in the Dark is just there by themselves. I like the demo. We'll see. You know,
I still haven't played it yet.
It's okay. There's not a whole lot there. You're not, it's like 15-minute demo. It's not much.
Okay.
Game Pass updates. Gree is out now. Starfield is out now. Solar Ash is out on the 14th. Lies of P is on the 19th. Remember that game?
Oh, thank God. Yes, I do. I don't have to buy it, so I'm happy.
I've reminded you not to buy it.
Yes, you reminded me just now not to buy the game. I just play it on Game Pass. Thank you.
Yeah, you get it on Game Pass. Lies of P was all the rage when it was shown, and it feels like it's definitely lost a lot of steam.
It
I
has
don't know.
because people played it.
Yeah,
I think that's what the people played it. Like, this is what this is.
kind of.
I played it. I'm like, this is cool.
Because I mean, this was
still
hype
interested.
when this game was shown. People were losing their fucking minds. Like this was everywhere, and it definitely just seems to. It feels like it's gonna it's gonna come out with like a whimper. It's like, oh yeah, Lies of P is out. They'll be like, great, playing Starfield.
Because I think the demo might have actually hurt it. And it's not a bad demo. It's just that people play like, oh, this is what this is. Okay. Moving on now.
Bummer, man. We got an update on Redfall coming from Bethesda marketing chief Pete Hines. Quote, we are always in the process of learning. So that's not new for us. We don't like failing to meet our players' expectations. At the same time, we are the same company that's had launches that didn't go the way we wanted, and we don't quit or abandon stuff just because it didn't start right. Redfall is no different for us, okay? We didn't get the start we wanted, but it's still a fun game. We're going to keep working on it. We're going to do it at 60 FPS. We're going to get it to be a good game. He also talked about how it's important that they get it corrected because the game will live forever in Game Pass. 10 years from now, he said, people will be subscribing to Game Pass for the first time, and they want when they're like people will continue to keep finding Redfall down the way.
Let me ask you a question, Donnie, because you played this game way more than I did.
I finished it. I didn't just play it. I beat the whole damn thing.
Yeah, you finished it. Is there a good game in here? Like, if they fix everything that's wrong in the game, would it
If they fixed everything that I wanted them to fix, is there a good game? Yeah, but the problem is when people ask Bethesda questions about Redfall, it's just 60 FPS, and Redfall is not 60 FPS away from being good. That's the problem.
Okay,
it's not just a performance patch. That's not making Redfall good. I'm sure if it runs at now, you got to remember, I played it at 60 FPS because I played on PC. And my PC ran it at 60 FPS for the most part without problems. Maybe I would dip into the 50s, but for the most part, I played it and to be honest with you, for the most part, I played it higher than 60 FPS. Played it like 75 or 85 FPS. So I've already had that experience. And that might be potentially why I enjoyed it more than like the console gamer. It's possible.
Okay.
But my issues with Redfall have nothing to do with the performance. Literally nothing. If I was writing a review, I wouldn't even have talked about performance because, again, on my PC, my experience, it wasn't an issue. The issue with Redfall is the AI, it's the encounters, it's the design of the game, it's the mission structure and the variety of missions. They're missing like a connectedness that like Far Cry has, that you can feel like you can run in any direction and just do things naturally. It's not natural, but Far Cry games trick you into thinking it is natural, that you're just coming upon these things, right? That's completely missing from Redfall. It is literally a map full of stuff to do. Like you just pick and choose the stuff to do. It feels like an open world game from 2009. And I think the reason that I think it's lacking that cohesion is and this is what I said when I beat it, it feels like this game was meant to be a live service game. And at some point they were like, nope, let's make it a single player game. And you can really see the DNA of both. So without a cyberpunk-like update, without them coming out and being like, here's why we've been silent for so long. Here's why we haven't updated this game for a year. Here's all the things we fixed and all the additions that without something like that, I think it'll just be faster Redfall. Like if all they're going to keep talking about is 60 FPS, then you're just getting faster Redfall. And I think Redfall is a flawed experience. I think it's fun, but flawed. I would like to see them actually make Redfall like the Far Cry clone that I think it can be. And if it was like that, I mean, there's a reason why I played it till I finished, because I had a lot of fun with it. And in that environment, in that setting, I think more people would like it. I don't think it'd be an amazing game, but I definitely think it could be a good game. The vampires are fun to fight. The problem is there's not a lot of them out there. The sad part is like it's kind of like a horror game. Like it has a horror look and it wants to be a spooky game, but like walking through the world is not scary at all, and there's no tension because there's not random encounters, and vampires are not very threatening and things like that. Like they would need to do a lot of things to kind of like really tie it together. Right now it's just kind of like a collection of parts more than a car.
Okay, so there's no element of fear in it.
No, I don't think so. And that's okay. Like it doesn't have to be scary, but like if you're making a game out of vampires that can glitch and move as fast as you want, I would think that you would want like some semblance of tension, you know? And I think the tension that they get from the game is like just making those enemies making them hard to kill, right? They just make it more difficult. And that's not the tension you want. You would want random encounters. You would want to try to sneak past things, be stealthy, be silent, right? There's not enough of that in the game. I literally just ran. Like you just run across the city.
Yeah, that's no fun.
And if you compare that to like a Far Cry, in Far Cry, you come across all sorts of things, right? Animals that can kill you, bears that can kill you, forts and bases, you can fly, you can drive. None of this stuff is in Redfall. And the only reason I'm comparing it to Far Cry is because that's probably the best comparison you can make, game design wise. That's the game that like it's very similar to that. You have a base, you talk to people, you get missions, you go out and do those missions, you come back to base, you get more, you unlock the city by taking over safe houses. It's very Far Cry. It's just nowhere near as good as Far Cry. And that's the problem. And 60 FPS isn't going to make it as good as Far Cry. So.
Well, then they have a long road ahead of them then.
I think at the very least, if they got the enemy AI better, because the AI is dreadful. It's might be one of the worst I've seen in modern gaming. It's real bad. There were times where I'd be shooting at the AI and they would just be like looking away, like off into the distance and stuff. Like you would just walk up to people and shoot them back in the head. Like the detection and like it was just really, really, really bad. I'm honestly broken might be the better word. Just not even working. Like just AI is not even good, right? It's not even behaving like AI. If they fix that and they got the performance up, the game, if they fix the AI and they got the performance up, I think you would start to hear people playing it and being like, it's not as bad as people said it was. If they just did those two things, it would go a long way. But I still think the mission design and variety is bland. It's pretty repetitive. You couldn't do a lot of the same thing.
All right.
And the sad part is there's story missions in the game where you do things for people that are fun and memorable. And that's when you're like, oh, this is a good game. There's just not enough of them. You're going to do, for every one of those, you're going to do 8 of the same missions over and over again. And that's the problem.
That's a big problem.
Yeah. I mean,
you can't get around that. That's something you can't fix, really.
No, you can't.
Like
and I think at the time when I played it and beat it and came to talk to you guys, I think the word I used was unfinished. It gives off a very unfinished vibe. It just feels unfinished, like just rushed out. You know, like you can see the game. If you've played a lot of games, you can see the game that they were going for. It's just not there yet. You know, it's just like, this isn't it. And it's a shame because people make fun of it a lot for what it looks like because it's pretty flat. But I think it's actually quite good looking and like really good. Like there's some set pieces that are really like, this is pretty awesome. Right. But they'll never get credit for it. So yeah. I don't know. I want to believe in them. I want to believe in Pete, what he's saying. I do think they turned Fallout 76 around, and I don't think they get enough credit for that. People still make fun about Fallout 76, and I know a couple like Fallout 76 diehards, and they love that game now. Like they really love that game. People are still playing it. They're actively playing it. And I would love nothing more than to see Redfall get that sort of glow up. Like if they kept with it that long, I just don't think they will. I think they'll do the 60 FPS and call it a day.
I hope not. That'll be unfortunate.
Me too. Me too. I lost a lot of faith in them because they were so active. The thing that I think hurts me the most is they were so active in talking about the game, promoting the game, marketing the game, supporting the game. And then the moment it came out and got, panned,
Lambasted.
they stopped communicating.
They tore that
And
game a new one.
And they still do their promotion stuff. It's like, it's very like disconnected from reality. They're still out there like, play Redfall, the coolest vampire. You're like, what are you guys talking about? Like it's everybody knows what you're doing. Like everybody knows what this game is, and like they're still going on. And outside of this, well, this is Pete Hines. This is what, September. What did Redfall come out? May? February? I don't remember. Was it May? This has been months and months and months and months of silence. And this is the first update we get. Is this? I mean, I don't know. I would love nothing more for them to just being like, we put our heads down until we fix it. That'd be great. But like, as much as they were talking about it before it came out, and it just threw me off my guard that they like completely went away and they just barely talked about it from the reception. They've barely acknowledged the reception. I don't like that.
Yeah. It feels like they just kind of like put their tweets to auto post and called it a day.
I think Phil Spencer has talked more about Redfall than Arcane has.
He has. Did he do like a whole thing about it?
Yeah. Like since it released, Phil Spencer's had more to say about Redfall than Bethesda. I don't think that's a good thing, but like I said, maybe they are doing like that No Man's Sky thing where they just go dark until it's done. Maybe that's what they're doing, but I would like for them to tell us that. I would like for them to be like, hey, we're going to fix this. Just give us some time. It's going to take some time. They didn't do that. They were like, we're going to do 60 FPS, and we never heard from them again.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. It's just be forthright saying, we're going to wait for a bit. We're going to fix this game, and when we come back, the game will be fixed to your liking, a lot more to your liking. It's okay to say that.
I think the hard part is that like I think it changes from developer to developer. Like you start to build a relationship, and you come to know what to expect. Like I never expect Rockstar to really communicate anything. Rockstar is going to show up, and they're going to tell you when the game's going to come out, and they're going to show up one day, and they're like, we've got a patch or a fix or an update, and you'll never hear from them again. Because they don't do that. Like that's not their thing. And you've got other folks they're going to be very communicative. They're going to tell you about all that they're doing, like Baldur's Gate, like Larian and like Naughty Dog, and they're going to be very communicative. Arcane is usually like that until like apparently they went into like damage control and like they just turned everything off.
But that's the thing. Once you start that communication with your fans, you got to keep that going through
and
good
that's
and
the
bad
part.
times. You can't just stop.
That's the part that really threw me for a loop, is that they were so behind it until they weren't. And that makes me wonder, like, okay, well, so to me, I think the only real thing that you can extrapolate from that is, so they're not really that behind it then, right? Yeah. Like, if you're not going to be with it in the, when it's hard, let's make me believe that, you're actually going to come through in what you say. I think they'll do 60 FPS, but I'm wondering if they'll do it because they like cut the resolution in half or something. I don't know. It's been a long time. I'm surprised they haven't got it done yet. Personally.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Anyway. Volition was officially shut down last week. Pull run out for Saints Row.
I never like seeing studios shut down. Yeah.
They said, I think, they said earlier in the year that they were going to transition a lot of people to Gearbox. And then Gearbox said they're laying off people, which is what I said when they said they were going to transition a lot of people to Gearbox. Remember? I was like, well, we know how this goes. They're like, we're transferring everybody. And then you silently hear that half the people, the new company, have been like, oh, it's like, well, okay, so did you transfer? Did you fire them?
We're transitioning people to be fired over here.
Correct. We're transitioning people to be fired at a later date is basically what they should have said.
Like, come on, man.
I get it. I did not particularly like the new Saints Row. They had to take a bath on that game. It's not as bad as people think it is. It's just not very Saints Row, I guess is the best way that I would put it. Like, it's not bad. It's just kind of like generic Saints Row, and that's not good. Like with an IP like that, you can't do that. You can't do Aldi brand Saints Row. Either you're going to fucking do Saints Row or you're not. Right? Like, that's kind of the franchise. That's like the community that was there for that game. that's the game that they want. And for them, I think to go away from like its roots, I think was the wrong decision.
Yeah. And like we've said on this podcast before, some studios, they have that one flop. That's it.
That's it.
Lights
Yeah,
out. It's
that's
game
true.
over.
And it's crazy to think that because Saints Row, the franchise, like they had a lot of hits. Saints Row was pretty big. Saints Row 2 is huge. Saints Row 3 was very successful. Yeah. And then they have Saints Row 5, and it's like that's all she wrote. You're done.
Yeah.
Game
Unfortunately.
development's getting harder to do.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll find those. I think at the time I didn't, because I thought Saints Row was ripe for a reboot. And I do think it was. I think had they done the reboot correctly, it would have been more successful. The fact that they like went so, I don't know the right way of putting it. Just not edgy, like the lack of edge, like the opposite of that, like that's kind of just not what Saints Row was. And I think that might have done them in more so than the game itself. Cause the game is kind of fun to play. It's a generic open world game.
I had who owns Saints Row?
Is it Embracer now?
I think so. That's
or is it Gearbox?
Sure. Embracer Group.
Yeah, so I thought. Embracer owns Gearbox. That's right.
And
So yeah.
Paylon.
I'm sorry.
I think they're called Paylon, formerly Koch Media, now has the IP, which is under Embracer Group. I was trying to figure out who had it. Like, could they still make Saints Row games? But yeah,
I think they could.
Apparently they can.
I think the IP has some juice left in it, maybe. I think, but I wouldn't expect anything soon, especially knowing what Embracer's going through.
Yeah,
they're laying off people, like they're downsizing, so they're having a tough time.
Video games are hard.
EA Sports has announced a new World Rally Championship game coming to consoles and PC due November 3rd. They announced this today. It's being made by the Dirt Team. Is it Codemasters?
Huh,
I don't remember the developers. I'm not super into that. I think it's Codemasters. Interesting thing about this game is it's $50.
That's a good price.
So just the Reddit thread that I was following in Reddit Gaming, you guys can go follow it yourselves if you want. There was a lot of interesting reaction to the price. And I've got nothing to say about World Rally Championship. Do you?
Nah, not at all.
Okay. I got nothing to say about that. So I want to talk about what the reaction I saw. Cause I saw one person was like, oh, it's great, man. I wish more people would make, $50 games. And I saw another person immediately go, why is it only $50? That makes me think less of a game. And I was like, ooh, what an interesting thing to bring up on the show.
You know what that reminds me of, right?
What?
NFL 2K.
Yeah. People see, it's so funny. People get mad at and look, we're taking opinions from different people, and now we're just saying all people. So there's an immediate folly in this argument, but just stay with us here. Some people get angry that the price raised from $60 to $70, and then some people see the price not being $70 and they immediately think it's of lesser merit. What a crazy way that people value economics. It makes me think that, this is the first game in what I imagine would be a franchise. So it's probably going to be pretty
$50 to get you in the door.
Yeah, it's probably like a lackluster modes content, sports racing title that they'll build on year after year after year.
Like, here's what it's going to get you in the door. If you stick with us, it's going to get better.
Yeah.
But of course, the price go up.
And I also think rally racing probably doesn't have as big a pool. And in a year where you're coming out next to the Crew Motorsport and Forza Motorsport, maybe you try to be the cheaper option if you're just doing the rally thing. It's probably a good idea. It's probably tough to sell a rally only game to as many people as, other things.
Yeah, probably tough to sell those games in general, but
I thought Dirt 5 was excellent. And I think Codemasters does good work. So I would have no I wouldn't imagine the game is going to be bad. I imagine it'd be pretty good.
I remember Dirt 5 looking very good.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed playing it.
It's a nice looking game.
Yeah. So we'll see.
So at the
But
very least, it's probably gonna look good.
just an interesting exercise that I saw going on Reddit. It was interesting because the immediate person, like somebody replied, they were like, "Why? Why would you say that? Like you don't want games to be $70, but when they're not $70, you think they're lesser than?"
People, that was a conversation about a couple of games. Ratchet and Clank had that conversation too. And they're like, oh, this is pretty good.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor is getting a patch promising solid 60 FPS for performance mode on consoles. And then PCs are getting updated to now be able to use DLSS.
That's great. I will find out sometime in January.
I was going to ask you, did you get this game?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I played a good portion
Did you finish
of
it or?
Absolutely not. I got into Zelda.
Oh, okay.
I'm playing Zelda now.
That's a good update.
This will get put on the side for a while.
We got Zelda news to talk about, but since you're going to be on Shaq, I'll save it.
All right, cool, perfect.
Todd Howard says we'll talk about Indiana Jones next year.
Okay, so that means they're actually working on it.
Yeah, I think they're working on it. I think they'll get it shown next year to come out the year after.
Hopefully it'll fare better than the movie.
Unveiled in 2024 to release in 2025.
What if they just have the main character be old-ass Harrison Ford? Not like the young Indiana Jones. Just 86-year-old Harrison Ford be the character.
He just dies mid-game. They're like, that's it. That's sorry.
Just walking slow.
We ran out of the mocap. We talked about this a bit early, and I think we had a good conversation in Discord. For those of you that aren't in our Discord, I think you're missing out on a lot of what makes PSVG PSVG. I'm no shocker to anybody. I'm not that into Indiana Jones. I was pretty let down when they were like, this is what Machine Games is doing. I was like, oh God.
No one but me apparently likes Indiana Jones.
I don't think that's true at all. I know a half dozen people who this is their most excited for Xbox. They bought Series X's because Xbox people, because people are making Indiana Jones. No, I know a lot of people. That's the thing. I always feel like the outcast because I don't understand this love that people have for Indiana Jones. Like I don't get it at all. I get it with Star Wars. I don't agree, but I get it. I get it with superheroes. I don't get it with Indiana Jones, but people fucking love Indiana Jones. Like I've watched the movies and I have found them mostly boring. And just not been that into them.
That time, that George Lucas magic where he couldn't do no wrong. Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
I watched him and I thought he did wrong because I was like, these aren't that great.
Those were the ones that people love. Like, Indiana Jones was the classic old era time, and Star Wars was the futuristic stuff. People loved it. I understand. I respect the franchise. It's iconic. It's get referenced and all that. Like I get it. Yes.
But I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So
my first one was a Temple of Doom, the one that everybody hated, with Mola Ram and pulling out the heart out of people's chest. Like, this is fucking awesome. As a kid, like, dude just ripped out a guy's heart out of his chest and it's still beating. That shit's cool as hell. That was kind of my exposure to Indiana Jones. And like, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, so I get why people like it, but
so you're excited for this game?
Very much so.
I
don't know how it's going to play.
So that's the question. Is like, what is the game?
Like, is it first person? Is it third person?
Well, the scene that we saw was in first person.
Yeah, and it kind of scares me because
I'm just wondering, like, if there's guns. Because
he has a gun.
Machine Games making a game that isn't about guns doesn't sound great.
And that's the problem I'm having.
Everybody wants this to be Uncharted. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to be Tomb Raider. And I'm like, that's not what I want from Machine Games at all. I don't want to be walking around picking up artifacts and climbing walls and whipping off a grappling post. And like, that sounds awful.
I don't know how that works in first person.
I want Machine Games making games where you shoot people. That's what they do. I agree. Well, do that.
Yeah.
And I in my mind, I kind of see it like with Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein's a first person shooter, but there are a lot of elements in that game where you can play things stealthily or you find like keys or items and, like you can kind of like sneak around and like kind of attack scenarios the way you want to. And I think of that. And then I apply that and I'm like, okay, I could see that being like the Indiana Jones game. But I just don't know what you do. Like, so he has a gun. Like I was corrected today
Yes.
that he has a gun. It's
He has
just
a
like,
gun.
so he can shoot stuff.
You know what? He does. Now that you mentioned Wolfenstein, he does kind of go around the battlefield and pick up weapons and stuff too.
See,
So that kinda
yeah,
makes
like,
sense. He can find us.
In my mind, if it's
So
that,
yeah, Wolfenstein's kind of a good thing.
if it's
Yeah,
that,
kinda
I'm
makes
in
sense.
for it because that sounds fun. And I believe in machine. Like I'm here for whatever they want to do, I guess. I wish they were doing Wolfenstein 3 instead, but if this is what they want to do, I mean, it'll be on Game Pass anyway. I'll definitely try it because I love everything they've touched.
Now that you say it, it kind of feels like this might be a rated PG-13 Wolfenstein.
Maybe.
Huh.
But like, what does
Yeah.
the whip do? What are you whipping? You like jumping across gaps or something with a whip?
Jump across gaps. You can whip people.
Are we puzzling?
You're gonna do puzzling, of course. Yeah,
Are we
that's a big part
solving
of
like
Indiana Jones.
tombs?
Solving
See, that's
tombs,
where
that's
you
part
start
of
to
it,
get
yeah.
me off of the game.
Because
you
he's an archaeologist. That's
And
the
when people
archaeologist
say
side
like,
of it.
"Oh, I want it to be like Tomb Raider," I'm just thinking of all the non-combat things that you do in Tomb Raider, and I'm like, I don't know how well that applies to machine games.
And it's another thing. Indiana Jones likes the fist fight. So are we gonna have like a
Are we punching?
fist fight mechanic in the game? Yeah, punching. That's his thing. He punches the shit out of people a lot.
Yeah, I could see
Punching
that.
Nazis.
Punching Nazis.
Yeah.
We'll find out next year. Last one I had is Baldur's Gate 3 is out today on PlayStation 5. It is officially launched as, at least at the time when I pulled this from a headline, it launched as the highest rated PlayStation 5 game of all time.
I gotta tell you, this game looks great. The more and more I see it, the more and more I'm like, I kind of want to play it. Like people, the dialogue options and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of Dragon Age and stuff like that. So like, this kind of looks really cool. I might give it a shot.
You bought Fort Solis, but you're not going to buy Baldur's Gate 3?
No, I'm getting Baldur's Gate 3. I think I am.
Okay. I was going to say, because that sounds like a huge
I
mess.
wish I could take Fort Solis back. Like, dude, take this back, please.
Our Rude Days 93 over and under section says, after getting both the Armored Core and Starfield prediction right, Delvin takes an 18-16-16 lead. Haley's on the board with 2. He said also,
Good job,
all of you got Red Dead for Switch and Madden 23 right. Now here's the thing. What was the Starfield prediction? Because we got asked for Starfield last week. I don't recall that we did it
was the
beforehand.
We did the over and under of it, I think, a while back.
What was it?
A long time ago. I don't remember. I think it was like 85 or something like that.
So yeah, John 32 asked us last week the over under 88.5, and I took the under because I said I think the 8s will outweigh the 10s, and I said I think it comes in like right under 88.5. I said 87, and I think I nailed that on the money. Like I think I got it like on the button. So I want a point. I don't give a shit they asked us for it already. I want a point. So it should be 18, 17, 16, damn it. John 32,
I'm
your
fine with
questions matter. I'm going to bat for you.
Nah, you know, nah.
Anybody can ask us
No,
over
but-
under questions. We don't just have to wait for the honorable RD93 to show up.
They must be approved by Root Days.
He
Root
took
Days,
the show
yes.
off like you fucking junkies for the last 3 weeks. He's been gone. At
He
least
said
me,
Delvin left.
at least me and John
I'll
32 are here. Here, we care about the 7. We are here for the 7. Like you degenerates.
Root Days said Delvin's gone. Fuck it, I'm going. I'll come back in 2 weeks.
Here's our question for this week. He says, since it's our Nintendo insiders tonight, true or false, a Nintendo Direct will be appearing next week. You have the lead. You have to answer
Did
first.
they just have one?
Did a Mario Wonder Direct? There was okay, so the reason he's asking, and there are rumors going around that there is a Nintendo Direct imminent. They've done a Nintendo Direct in September, I think, every year. I didn't count them all up. I'm taking what Rebecca's told me.
I think they are. I think it's gonna be one in September. But the question is next week.
That is the question. True or false, a Direct for next week?
Oh shit! I guess it is. It might be next week because it's like the 14th.
Yeah, it could be all the way to the 16th. I mean, that's mid-month.
Yeah. fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna go Drew. Just look
True?
at the calendar like you had a month.
Now you've made it
Yeah,
easy on
I'm
me.
gonna go
I'll
Drew.
take the false. I think there is a direct, but I'll take the false that it's later than next week. When is Tokyo Game Show?
That's a good question.
Because I would imagine that if they have one in September, it'll probably be around then. It could also be like an indie direct, or a partner showcase. Tokyo Game Show is what, like the 20th, 25th?
I'm looking it up now. Why are you showing me things to do in Tokyo?
Tokyo Game Show.
Show me everything.
The 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So if I had to guess, if I'm putting my money down, which I am, for a point, then I would say it's more likely, not that it is, but more likely that it's the 18th or the 20th instead of the next week.
So
They'd
the
probably
week
do something.
after.
I'm thinking they would do something right ahead of Tokyo Game Show the week after next week. Or potentially
Let me ask you
right
a question,
after
Jonathan.
Tokyo Game Show, the week after that.
I'm absolutely looking at a calendar. It's a calendar right to the right of me.
So that would be my guess.
That's
And
a good
with
guess.
that is the news.
All right, we got some questions. We got some good questions. Do we have some good questions? Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. I don't know. I didn't read them all.
Do we?
All right. Our first question from TPR. He says, if each of you guys were to go pro in any fighting game of your choice, which game would it be? So I guess you'll go first, Donnie.
So I get to magically just be good, be great at a fighting game of my choice? Smash.
Yes.
Absolutely. If I could be great at a game, I would pick Smash. One, it's got like more applicability, right? Smash is played at like every fighting tournament across the world. So if I was just a great Smash player, I'm going to get more run out of that. Two, it's totally more like the most fun. It's the game that has like the most characters, the most iconic character. You know, like, yeah, definitely Smash.
Since you said what you said, I'm going to go Street Fighter.
I mean, that'd be the good one. Yeah.
I probably could win a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
At Evo at events like
You
that.
could win more money
But
at Street
this-
Fighter, I'd imagine, than Smash.
Yes, that's what I
But
was
I would want the glory. See, like, you're never going to get invited to anything but Evo at Street Fighter. Like, I could perhaps be like at Nintendo at E3 Smash tournament. You know, like they're showing off the
That's
next
true.
system, and I'm over here fucking owning folks with King DDD. You know, like that would be the shit.
But I would meet some cool people
I want the glory.
at Evo.
You could keep the money.
get-
I want
you'll-
the glory.
You get the money and glory with Evo. You get to meet like, you know, Lupe Fiasco plays Smash, not Smash. He plays Street Fighter. Kenny Omega. A lot of celebrities get in that Street Fighter realm and go to Evo to watch them. Yeah,
Okay. I
I'm
think
cool
you get
with
more out of being Smash.
that. Like, probably.
Yeah.
All right, let's see our next question. Good question. Drew asked, is Donnie still in the F1? Hasn't talked about it much. Is he still watching? How do you think the season's been thus far? So, Donnie, give us your F1 update.
Yeah, I love F1. Watch this week's race, the Italian Grand Prix. The last week's race was amazing. It was the best race of the year by far.
Didn't you mention that?
On Shaq. I watched it right before we recorded
Okay.
Shaq, and it like made
That's
my
what I
whole day
heard.
better.
Yes.
It was great, man. It was incredible. It was just chaotic. It was instant chaos, which was amazing. I don't talk about it because I record with these bozos and I don't give a crap about F1. So if nobody writes me questions about F1, I'm not going to talk about it. F1, one thing that I wish I could change, I know F1 has a really long calendar, and, you know, like F1 fans are always whining about the pit crew's life balance and their families. And as an American sports fan, I don't care about any of that crap.
Yeah, fuck
F1
it.
has too many breaks. There's too many breaks in the damn season, Delvin. They have like an entire summer break where they're off for like 5 weeks. There's no races. And then they come back for like a week, and then they're off for another 2 weeks, and then they do 2 races, they're off another 3 weeks. Like, it's so hard to like, I want to just settle in to where I'm watching the race every week. And then like the stop go thing.
Why do they do that? Is there like
because
a reason they do that? Like,
yeah, the reason is because it's a global sport and it takes a lot of effort and money and time to pack up 20 race teams and cars and equipment and people and ship it from Abu Dhabi to Italy to Spain and then Morocco and then Austin,
so it's
Texas
more
and
of a,
Sao
more of a logistic
Paulo
reason.
and Australia. Yeah, like I get it. And it's a
Okay.
lot of travel. But you know, I being the conditioned sports fan I am in America, we don't care about that. Games.
At
You
all.
know, like there's what other sport just has like entire like breaks like that? Like I kind of wish they would just break it off into like 2 seasons. Like if you're gonna do that, like just do it all like the first half of the season, extend the summer break for longer, and then come back for the second season. It's not the summer break that bothers me so much. It's the stop and start. It's we have a race 1 week and then we'll see you 2 weeks from now. And we'll have another race and we'll see you 3 weeks from now. Like that's the stuff that really makes it difficult.
Makes sense.
Golf does it. Golf travels all around. like it can't be that damn hard. Figure it out.
They can figure out. That
Make
makes
your
sense.
travel better. That's the other thing. Like they do like weird travel. They'll travel from like one country and come all the way back and then go back to that same country again. It's like, no. Like do like the European swing, then do like the Middle East swing, then they do the Pacific swing, and then do the North and South American swing. Like they should do that. That would make it better. But I mean, I didn't even answer the question. What do I think of the season so far? I think it's been great. Max is dominant. It's probably the most dominant season a racer's ever had. Generally, I don't think F1 fans like when somebody is being dominant unless it's their favorite racer. I don't mind it so much because I got into the sport when Lewis Hamilton was dominating. And if you go back in time and you learn more about the sport is like just that's how the sport is. There's entire eras of cars that are dominant. And then that person
I kinda
usually,
dig that now.
yeah, they kind of win. And I think what made it good for me is being the Red Bull fan. Max is not my favorite racer, but it is my favorite team. I came in when Red Bull was chasing. They were giving chase to the underdog. So to see them eclipse the standard and be so dominant, it's exciting because I saw them like make that rise. So now it's exciting to see if somebody else can come meet them, you know, like get to their level. So I like that. I don't mind the dominance. There are people talking about like, should they change the rules or something so that Red Bull can't win as much? And like that, I think is
Nah,
ridiculous.
don't do that.
Like that's absurd. Like
Yeah,
don't punish them for being great. Like
Yeah.
make other
Don't do
people
that. That's
be
horrible.
great too. Yeah, no, I'm still very much digging F1. We have a Discord channel where we talk about cars and racing and F1. And a lot of times it's just me. But that's okay.
There you go. So if you want to hear more of Donnie takes on that, go on that Discord channel, and there you go.
Yeah.
We got a new question added to the show. I'll just read it right now from Captain Awesome 915. He says, "Guys, quick question: should I wait for the physical release of Sea of Stars?" Donnie goes, "Say don't wait for it all. Just bypass that."
Yeah.
So should I buy it now on digital? Don't buy it now on digital. It's literally free everywhere.
Game Pass.
It's
It's on Game
PlayStation
Pass.
Plus. PlayStation Plus.
No,
is free.
don't do
Game
that.
Pass
They're
is
raising
free.
the price of PlayStation Plus. Don't do that. It's on Game Pass. Just get Game Pass. You can get it right now for like $1 or $9 and play it for a month and just
Yes.
do that until the physical comes out. Don't buy the
Yeah, it's
digital
free.
copy if you're going to buy the
Don't buy it.
physical.
Don't buy it. Yeah.
If you're going to buy the physical, just play it on Game Pass and then get it when the physical. I do that on Switch all the time. I will get the game on Game Pass and then I will pick up a deal on the game physically at a later date. Do that.
That is correct, Captain Awesome. Do that. If you can buy it on Game Pass or something like that,
It's on PC.
For
I
a
bet
month.
Sea of Stars runs on anything. You could probably
Yeah,
download the thing on a damn Chromebook and play it. Like it should be played. It's fine there. And if you can't, you can stream it. And that should be a fine game to stream even. So it should be fine.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to buy it right now. You can buy the physical later. Save you some money.
I just bought. Did you see there are several stores that have sales of Game Pass right now?
Yes,
Amazon.
I bought some.
Target. Yeah, all these folks have Game Pass deals.
I think I bought it from. I think from Amazon. I bought some.
I bought another year of Game Pass. I bought another year.
I bought a year of Game Pass too, so I have it till late next year.
Dude, I have like 3 years stored, and I was like, let's add another one.
Yeah. I'm gonna start. I have PlayStation Plus till late next year too. So
I'm Game Pass through I don't know, it's like sometime in 2026. And then I have 4 years of Game Pass on top of that saved.
that's good. I need to do that. That's why I always keep Game Pass, because I already have like a whole bunch of, I get on deals, so I don't have to ever worry about it too much.
Look at this ish right here.
Really
Look at this. You want to go ahead and read this question, Doman?
From Melissa, quick question for Donnie. Will you bring me a drink? So Donnie, will you bring Melissa a drink?
What's in it for me, doll?
There you go. Got to give him something. Got to pay the piper. Maybe it may pay a little, may pay a lot, but you got to pay. Oh, man. All right. Our next question is from Kyle the Pug. And before I read his question, I will just show my shirt. For those,
You did not get a fuck you, Kyle the Pug shirt.
I
Wow.
absolutely did get a fucking Kyle the Pug shirt. Oh, man.
Wow.
Kyle the Pug says, if LA Knight, the wrestler was in an RPG, what would his special abilities be? What we're doing right now? Yeah.
Dude got worked
what
by
would he attack with?
by the Miz
The Miz.
in that promo.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Miz got him off his game. He was always like so on schedule and timely, and he started going with the Miz, and he kind of looked a little iffy there. I was like, wait a minute.
When the Miz gets in that groove where he wants to do what he wants to do, he's really good.
Yeah,
Like, I remember when he was
people hate on the Miz. He's pretty good.
when he was going up against Daniel Bryan.
Everybody remembers that
In
promo.
those promos.
That was his
He was
best
killing
promo.
He had a couple good ones. Like he had one with John Cena that was like that. He had a few.
I think he's like the perfect gateway
This Miz is
wrestler.
cool.
People talk about like that role. Like Undertaker had that role for a long time. Dolph Ziggler's had that role. Like Miz is definitely like a really great. You know what you're getting out of. He's very dependable. Maybe not the most
He's the one
spectacular
you test
athlete,
people with.
but yeah, you can get feuds out of people with the Miz. He's a great foil for people to, especially if you're trying to elevate them. It's an easy character.
I agree. So, what you think, LA Knight, if he was an RPG, what his special ability would be?
So he's in
And
WrestleQuest.
would
Have
he
you played
attack?
that yet? Did you get your free game?
I have not played it. I haven't. I have not played it yet. It's on my queue.
It didn't review very well, which I'm not surprised when I
Saw
played the
that.
demo. I told you.
It didn't. Watching the reviews didn't deter me from like I still want to play this. I see the gameplay of it. Looks really cool.
I
Looks
think
right up my
you
alley.
are gonna like it a lot. I think it's a game for like you.
Yeah, I kind of dig what it looks like.
Like if you know who
LA
Sean Ross Sapp is, you're gonna like the WrestleQuest.
Yes, I think they said Conrad Thompson's in the game too. So
Yeah,
that's
he
cool.
is.
Pretty cool.
Like you see him right as soon as they do it. I don't know. I
Well,
guess it
he would
be-
have a shout, of course,
Yeah.
because that's an RPG thing, you know, like a siren. You have to shout. That kind of affects, kind of knocks people's special abilities down and stuff like that. Blunt force trauma move would be like his special move. That's his finisher. He'd be like an all around guy, like a guy who
He kind of
all-
has like generic wrestler moveset.
yes.
He doesn't really, his moves don't seem to be so personifiable with him. He does like a lot of neck breakers, clotheslines, knees, drop kicks.
Yes.
You know.
If you ever play RPGs and you know how you can like create your character and you can just make them all sevens, like all fives, like all right, he's just average. LA Knight would be that. And then like on the luck or charisma side, he had that little really high. That's where I think he would be at. Like
Yeah.
his move set is not spectacular, but his charisma and his luck kind of make up for that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of RPG characters. Yeah.
He's a promo first guy, which is okay. I mean, he gets
He
it.
is.
I'm not trying to say anything bad. I mean, the man gets the job done. I just don't think he's a spectacular wrestler. You know, not like out of the way, memorable wrestling match guy.
Yeah, he's. I don't want to say this mean, but he's a throwback to that early 2000s, maybe late 90s era wrestlers like Stone Cold, The Rock. Their moves weren't really spectacular.
No, but like they had like marquee moves, like
They had
identifiable
marquee moves,
moves. He
But
doesn't.
like, The Rock bottom.
He has a lot of moves that a lot of
aren't
everybody uses. You know.
Yeah. But the Rock bottom and people's elbow aren't spectacular moves. They're
No, that's
spectacular
true. With
because
The Rock,
person who's doing them.
with The Rock, I think The Rock is a good. I don't think the same thing for Stone
Yeah.
Cold.
This-
Stone Cold
I
had
guess the
Stone
stutters
Cold
unique.
had like the boots in the corner. He had the mid rope, you know, axe handle. You know, he would drop on people. You know, he had the knee drop. He's a brawler, but his moveset was identifiable.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. He had the jump and pummel, right? Where he'd jump and catch you and he'd come
Jump in
down
there
and
catch you.
yeah. Like he is a very memorable moveset. The Rock's moveset is only memorable because he made a damn spectacle out of him. You know, he's doing this
Yeah.
stupid
He made
people's elbow and shit. Like, yeah, like it was memorable because of that, not because of the move. Nobody cared about the
yeah,
move.
like the Rock bottom isn't a spectacular move. It's just like,
No.
all right.
I think
just
Bray
slam
Wyatt's
it.
Uranagi is way better. A lot of people did that move better.
Yeah.
Who's the one that guy does
I think,
who does
Switchblade
the rock
does it.
bottom, but it does the fallout? Is it Edge? Who am I thinking of?
Is that Edge? It's somebody who does. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Might
where
be
they go up and then they both come down flat. It's like the same thing.
Yeah, like it's called the Edge execution. No, that's his
I don't know why I thought
DDT
Edge. I don't remember who did it, but somebody does it. I think that one's better too.
There's a couple of them that's better.
Yeah.
But it's all about who does it. All right. Free to play Joe asks, this is the wrong podcast for this question.
Try telling people a
Dying
month
to hear
ago,
your
man.
thoughts dying to hear your thoughts on Starfield.
Are you?
Is this the game Xbox been missing? Finally a game of the year contender. Free to play Joe, I don't know many sevens is getting game of the year.
It's not a 7.
I know it's not. I'm fucking because of IGN. It's not a 7. I think it's
We give IGN too much power in this.
way too much power. I think it's gonna be great. I think it's great for Xbox to get all this.
I think it will be.
Everybody like-
I think it will be nominated, and in that regard, it's a good
I
step.
definitely think it will be.
I don't
I
think it's
it
going to
definitely
win.
will be. No, I don't think it's gonna win either. I think
I think Baldur's Gate's your game of the year. Like barring
You know what?
some unforeseen
You know,
thing, I think Baldur's Gate's the game.
You might be right. Yeah, because a lot of people are talking about Baldur's Gate. A lot of people.
It's
surprising.
sold better than expected. It's not just noise. It's reviewed extremely well, but more so when I think of game of the year, and this could be terrible because remember I thought Ori was game of the year and didn't even get nominated. But when I typically think of game of the year, I think about like what game like captured like the medium, or game like captured the attention of, you know, like the market and the space.
Yeah.
And I think the only answer to that so far has been Baldur's Gate. I don't think there's anything's been like Baldur's. Like Diablo has come and gone.
Tears of the Kingdom
Street
was.
Fighter has come and gone. You know, but Baldur's Gate, like that, it was it, and like it's still here, and I think it's going to have a little run here too. So
Baldur's Gate and Tears of the Kingdom. Those are the only two games that come to my mind that people have consistently talked
yeah,
about.
I didn't even think about Tears of
That's
the Kingdom.
it.
Yeah, just because in my mind, it's so funny. Tears of the Kingdom is like my game of the year, but I don't think Tears of the Kingdom got like the Baldur's Gate treatment.
It did, but I guess it was so early in the year, people don't really think about it. Like Baldur's Gate is still fresh.
Maybe you might be right. I feel like Tears of the Kingdom was like more anticipation until release, whereas Baldur's Gate was release and onward.
Yeah, there's some of that too. I didn't think people would talk about Baldur's Gate like this. They're talking about like
No, I
a
didn't either.
lot.
I'm shocked because this game has been out for like 2 years. Like if you were really in early access, and so the game has been available for a long time, and I guess a lot of people waited for it to come out of that, I guess. Like I was shocked because I thought before it released, I was like, if you were really, really into Baldur's Gate, in my head, you were probably already playing. And I was completely wrong. Like I was so wrong.
There are people who have it on PC who are just not getting like, this is amazing. I didn't think that was possible. Like, oh, that's great.
Yeah. A lot of people, waited. So yeah.
All right. Our next question from Court Lalonde. He asks, what is your hype level for the newly announced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game? Donnie, have you seen this?
Only because he sent the question. I looked it up. It's the TMT Mayhem or whatever.
Yes, based off the movie.
I didn't see any pictures of the game, and I didn't see a YouTube trailer for the game. It looked like it was just an announcement.
I think so.
So how excited
I am at an 8. Because
how can you be excited? You even know what the game is? Because
it's based off the movie, the new movie, and the new movie is fantastic.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything about the game. You don't even know what kind of. What if it's a turn-based? What if it's a turn-based RPG?
I like turn-based RPG, so I wouldn't be opposed.
What if it's a walking narrative?
Then I'd be opposed.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like we don't know. I mean, I think we know. I think we know what it's going to be. It's probably some sort of, beat 'em up. Like I get it, but I'm just making the point. I'm making the point. Having not seen the game, having not got a good description, like we don't know what the game. Now, hang on. I didn't read all that into it. So maybe there is like a description of what the game is going to be and I missed it. All I did was I looked at one of the announcements, and from what I got in skimming it was just that they announced that a game is coming with a new art style.
I'm assuming it's a beat 'em up in the art style of the movie.
Yeah, that's what I would assume as well.
And the movie's art style is awesome. So if you give me a beat 'em up that looks like that, I'm hyped for it.
Yeah, but what if it's bad?
Then I'd be very disappointed. Like extremely disappointed.
Okay.
Like upset.
I'm not trying to lessen your enthusiasm. I'm just trying to add a little dose of reality. Like you can't be too hyped. Like I think at most your hype right now should be 5 until you see a trailer of the game. Then you can go to an 8. You can't be an 8 now.
I'm always at 8.
They just gave you a title.
8 is where I live at.
They were like TNT Mayhem. You were like 10 out of 10. Here's my money. Like what?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Make them earn it, Delvin.
When they said we got a Black Panther game, come on, like
quit being so easy on the first date. Make them get to date 2 at least. Okay.
They said all the right words. Ninja Turtles. the clothes start coming off then.
You're too easy on the IPs, man. You're too easy on the IPs.
You say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the top comes off, baby. Tell me more. Talk turtle to me.
Talk turtle to me. Wow. I saw Kevin in Nintendo Shack said that they dropped the ball by not having a game ready for the movie. You think so?
Yes, but then the movie didn't do good. So they might have dodged the bullet.
I thought he said the movie was great.
The movie's great, but no one saw it. Like it didn't do good at all.
Oh wow. My response is going to be like, maybe the movie needed to like prove that there was a demand before they could greenlight a game. Games are expensive.
People didn't even know the movie was out. Games are expensive.
So I guess that can't be it at all. I mean, they could have just made the money. I don't know. I'm not into TMT, so I don't know.
Great movie though. It's an excellent movie. Just didn't do well. Just one of those movies that just didn't connect with people. It reviewed well and everything. Just nobody went to go see it. Those who saw it love it.
Barbie.
Yeah. People were still in the Oppenheimer Barbie.
You only have so many things out at once. People can't see everything. Can't play everything.
Turtles and the Meg 2 kind of just flopped.
Well, the Meg 2, I think we can
Meg 2 is expected, but
I don't think anybody was like, that's gonna blow things up.
That's gonna hit. Yeah, but it just neither one of them did nothing.
Meg 2 should have went straight to streaming. Meg 2 is the perfect made for DVD movie. Like should have never been.
It is there now.
Yeah, shouldn't be a theatrical release to begin with.
Yeah. All right. Our next question is from the Jacked Up Review Show. He asks, who is the best video game badass, period? So, Donnie, who is the best video game badass?
I mean, I've got an answer, but I've got a lot of answers. But like, if I had to answer with just one, Marcus Phoenix.
That's a great answer. He's on my list.
There's a lot of great answers. Yeah, like I've got a list. I can give you a short list.
Give me your short list. I'll give you my short list.
Kratos.
He's on my list.
BJ.
BJ's on my list. Yeah,
Duke.
That's a good one. Duke was not on my list. So, yeah.
Duke, man. Doom guy.
Doom Guy's on my list. Yeah.
Ellie.
I don't know if I put Ellie on my list.
Ellie's a total badass.
I put Samus before Ellie.
Samus is the most badass female character of all time.
I put Samus.
But Ellie's number 2.
Lara Croft.
Oh, Ellie's way more of a badass than Lara Croft. Are you fucking kidding me? She's more badass in like 2 scenes than Lara Croft has been in her entire existence.
Lara Croft's kind of badass. You know what?
She's kind of badass. But Ellie's badass.
Ellie is badass. I'll give it to you. I'll give Ellie the edge. I think who else?
But Phoenix is number 1 for me. In my mind, it would go like Phoenix, Samus, Kratos, Doomslayer,
Master Chief,
BJ. All of them over Master Chief. I don't think Master Chief's a badass. There's a grit that needs to come with Master Chief's just like hero.
He's kind of a badass.
Kind of though, but that's kind of. He's not like a badass. He's kind of a badass. He does badass stuff, but he's not a badass. Dude, absolutely. 100%.
Travis Touchdown I put there.
I just didn't think anybody else would agree. Like, obviously, I've got Travis all around me. I love Travis Touchdown, but I don't think people would. I don't think people would be like, who? Yeah. He said all of it.
He likes that Nathan Drake.
No. A badass? Didn't he stop chasing world treasure to like go work in a trash retrieval company? Super badass, Daniel. Total badass. Nathan Drake, family man. No, not even a little bit. The answer isn't who did great video game things. The answer is who's a badass. Badass is an attitude. It's a personification. Okay? It's not just like a list of feats.
Yeah. Kyle the Pug says Star Killer from the Force Unleashed. That kind of works, yeah. Star Killer's dope.
You Smoke and Joe's Snake. Yeah. Snake's a badass.
I like he just said Snake. He didn't say which one. He just
Doesn't
said
matter.
Snake. Just in general.
We know. The whole series is badass.
Chris Redfield. Chris boulder punching motherfucking Redfield.
No. Hang on. Wesker.
Wesker's a badass.
Yeah. Way more than Chris.
Chris punches rocks. Just that doesn't fuck of it. That is badass.
Chris also babysat like an entire game. That's not very badass. He was playing like kindergarten cop. I don't know how badass that is. Okay, we're not saying who's Michael Jordan. We're saying who's Dennis Rodman. Okay.
Trying to think who else. Who else would be considered a badass in video games? Link is not a badass. I don't consider Link a badass.
No, Link is not a badass. Sheik, though.
Sheik's badass.
Sheik's a badass. For sure.
Yes.
Ganon's a badass. Actually, in all seriousness, Ganon's a badass dude. That's why people like Ganon. He's a total badass.
Ganon's definitely a badass. I'm trying to think, is there anybody else we're missing? Is there anybody in particular we're missing?
I don't know. I didn't create a list. I was just thinking.
Jill Valentine, badass. I think she's a badass.
Joel? I don't think Joel's a badass.
He's kind of not.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to think of people who are like naturally badasses in my head. Like I don't know. I think we might be out of them.
My
'Cause I don't think
favorites, like if I was going off my favorites, it would be. I would probably go Travis number one. Travis or Marcus, and then
Okay.
I mean, if favorites, I'm just going Donnie's personal favorites. It'd be like Travis, Marcus, BJ, Doom Guy, Samus.
That's a good list.
Samus is a total badass. Everything she does
Absolutely.
is complete badass. You know, like even the fact she doesn't like have so much like expression and lines, like just makes her even look more of a badass. You know, everything she does is badass. She's like a fucking android robot ninja. You know, like you could put Samus in the Metal Gear universe and it shit would totally make sense.
Yeah, it would. Samus is badass.
Because she's just badass. Like, of
Absolutely.
course Samus is here. Of course she is. Like, this makes total sense. Metal
She
Gear
should be.
Rising Revengeance 2 featuring Samus Aran. People are like, okay. Yeah. Tom Nook.
I just wanted you to read that one.
No. Tom Nook.
Tom Nook's a drug dealer. Let's go on his name. That dude sells rocks. Come buy these bells. Yeah, I bet. Come give me some bells. Yeah. Sure, Tom.
Tom Nook.